Hey, welcome back to Branching Out here with me, Curtis Hanlon, and we're going to be daisy chaining these totes together today. First thing we want to do is kind of get rid of the water that's in them, because there is residual chunks of leftover dye in there, so we're going to try and break that up and get them clean before we put all the fittings on. But in the meantime, we're going to make a bunch of fittings up ahead of time to kind of save a little bit of time, and they're all the same, so let's get going on that. Okay, here's step one. I just wanted to get one set. I'm gonna have to have the cams with the keys sticking up so that I have room to actually tighten them into the cam. So I'm gonna leave that. Then I'm gonna use this as an upright because I want the ball valve to be up. So this is the first step, and then from here on will be the connections to go towards the hillside irrigation. And here's my daisy chain right here. So we're gonna have to get that in there, get some measurements, and make up a couple more apparatuses just like this. And I got this little jig I made so that I can make sure I get all the same sizes each time. It's just basically a little bolt with a couple of nuts on it, and I'll just keep using that at the end. At the end here, I'll just kind of put it up there, you know, towards where the pipe is, and I'll just cut it. So could use measuring tape, but that's back in the shop and I'm not running back to get it, so we'll do it this way. So let's keep going. So we got to empty the totes because there is some, most of them are pretty clean, but some of them has some residual pieces in there, and they're not little. They're enough to get clogged if I keep going and not empty it first. So we're gonna dump it out, clean out the ball valves because there's some stuff stuck between the ball and the casing or the housing of the ball valve. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do now, and then we're gonna start hooking them up. All right, so we got our first piece in here. We're gonna weigh this down a little bit, make sure she's nice and even. Let's go. We're gonna get one side in, and then we're gonna try to attach the other side. So this measured out to be 38.5 inches. So let's just get this attached. So we got one side attached. We're gonna have to loosen this a bit. So he's in there now. All right, on to the next one. All right, so I've got about 10 of them hooked up right now. I got 10 more to go, but it is the evening. It's time for dinner. I'm gonna go take a rest and be back at it in the morning. So that's what it looks like so far. We'll let her dry. And then, you know, obviously you can see some small kinkage here and there. We'll have to move some of these totes in or out a little bit, depending on what they need. It's my dad's new chicken Katras here. yeah, we got the white meat birds. I'll be using them for raw dog food and for our pleasure, possibly eggs as well. But I think the layers are going to get changed up into here. But as you can see, little roost in here. I think there's 40 of these guys. But yeah, and then on top of that, we are making the decision, or my parents have made the decision, to get rid of the goats. So they're all going to be going up for sale. And so one last cute shot of the goats branching out until we decide what happens later. I'm going to miss the little chocolate brown one because it's the only one I've ever seen. She's right there poking her head out. But yeah, that's about it for these guys. And then the males down there. Alright, I'm all complete plumbing up the totes. Now I just got to make sure this kind of stays straight. We're going to bury this line and pack it in a little bit so it'll stay a little more straight or level. But yeah, we're all the way down. We got the ball valve closed. This valve here from the central where the water collects from the east trough will collect into this tote and will go down into all the other totes so they'll all fill up equally. And then this ball valve will control the hillside. So I haven't put in fittings here yet, but we will. It's not something I was really worried about this year, but you know, throughout the winter or the fall, I might get some fittings in there. And I'll be on the hunt for some drip lines, or drip hoses, or soaker hoses, whatever you want to call them. And then we got them all up here, daisy chain, all the way down. Everything worked out fairly good. It was a little tight in some spots, a little uneven in some other spots, but that's okay. We're just gonna keep going with what we got and work with what we can, and not with what we can't. I was short some pipes, so I had used, I actually had some connections here. So right here I made a little connection, and then here I made a connection as well into the next ball valve, which I have to keep closed in order to keep the totes full. And then that ball valve will run down to the center of the swale, which goes towards the pond. So that's for draining into the pond. There'll be another ball valve down there and a T. And then we'll start working on next year. We'll start doing the irrigation for all the food forest. We'll start putting in poly line best we can. So we'll be working on the plans over the winter and the fall, and we'll see what happens. So right now I'm just gonna bury up these things, pack them in a little bit, and then we'll be finished. Okay, moment of truth. We're gonna open up this ball valve. There's only 3/4 of it left, but we're gonna see it go down, and we're gonna check and see if there's any leaks. We're just gonna go down the line and check and see. Let's get this off of here. Well, I can hear it going in, but it's going to be very little. I'm going to turn on the pump because it's not supposed to rain for the next couple, maybe a week or so, 10 days. So water's coming in. I don't see any leaks at the moment, but we'll keep an eye out. So let's go get the pump started and start filling up some of these totes. In the meantime, I'm going to pack in those ball valves there, the poly pipe, get that into the ground so it doesn't move around. Let's go do that. So the only vegetables I have growing on the hillside here, where the irrigation will come in handy, which is why I've been using that water tote over here to help water this. But yeah, we got some squashes in here. They're here somewhere. I saw them. There's one right there. So there's one right there. There's a couple more in here somewhere. Just keep an eye out. I even got a watermelon. I got a couple here. A couple squashes there, doing all right. There's those butternut squash. And then tiny little watermelon down here. It's in here somewhere. There it is right there. There was a tiny one on top. But yeah, hopefully we'll get something out of it. There's another little watermelon right there. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, let's get going. One more work to do. Alright, all packed in. Get her nice stomped in there a bit. She's a lot straighter than she was. Also done on the same as the other side as well. So our hillside irrigation is up and our water removal is in. And then, like I said, it's down by the swale. So now we're just filling it up. So I got this little wire here holding on to the water, the pump here, and we're just filling them up. It's gonna take a while, but yeah, if you like those videos that I'm doing here, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends. And we'll see you next week. Next week I'm off for a whole week, so we're definitely getting some stuff done next week.